Hello everyone. Today I want to continue with our last lesson on Java class and creating objects in Java. So basically this is from our last lesson. We have created an item class where the item has a name and a price. Today I want to show you how to overload a method. So here we have a constructor, a method which is a constructor which takes in two parameters. You have the name and the price. Now to overload this method, I'm going to create another method with exactly the same definition, public item, but the parameter list is going to be different. So in this case, my parameter list, I'm gonna leave it as blank, and I'm gonna set this name to undefined item, and the price, let's set it to -1. Okay, so now when I go to here and I'm gonna create a new item. So let's see, in our last lesson we have item 1, item 2. So let's create item 3. I'm gonna do item. Let me just copy this down, it would make it easier. So here I have item 2. Give me 1 second. I want to copy this whole block down. Oh. Okay, copy, and I'm gonna paste them down here. Let me just remove this extra item here where we use the setters to change the price, the name and the price of the car. I'm just gonna remove that to make things clearer. Okay, so now I have item 1, which is the car, item 2 is the book, item 3, let's say it's a sofa for $1,000, and I'm gonna print item 3. Oh, but you know what? I want to test the new constructor. Overloading a method. So I do not want to pass in the sofa, but I actually want this item to be blank. And I'm just gonna print out item 3. Okay, so let's see how that looks. You know what? Let me save the item first. And let's run it. Okay, so my item 1, I started out with the car for 20,000. Item 2 is a book for 50,000. And my item 3, I pass in a blank set of parameters. So basically the system is gonna look and it's gonna match the constructor that has the empty set of input parameters. So it finds this one and it's gonna use this one. So it's gonna set the name to undefined and it's gonna set the price to -1. All right. So that's how you overload a constructor, is by having different constructor with different set of parameter lists. And here, if I want to later, so I started out with the blank item, the undefined item, and if later I want to change it, I can change it using my setter. So now I can do item3 dot set name, and I can set it to anything I want. So let's say sofa, and then item3 dot set price. Now I can set it to 1000, and let me print it. Let's see how that looks. Alright, so I started out with item3 is undefined with the price -1, and then after I used the setters to set it to sofa, and with the price of 1000, I printed it. Item3 is now sofa 1000. Alright, one other thing I want to go over is to pass in, is to see how it works when we pass in an object as a parameter. So let me insert another constructor here. Maybe I'll just copy this down, make it easier. So I'm overloading the same method, the same constructor. Here I'm passing in the name and the price. Here I'm passing in nothing, empty. And here I'm gonna pass in an item. And let's call it I. So this name is gonna be equal to I.name. And this price is gonna be I.price. Okay, so I'm passing in an item here. And let me go to my runner. So let's create the next item. So item 4. It's gonna be a new item, and I'm gonna copy that from another item. So I'm gonna copy it from item 2. So basically I'm saying item 4 is equal to item 2, and it's gonna use this constructor right here. So item 2 is gonna be I here, and I'm setting item 4 to be equal to item 2. Here I'm gonna print item 4 using the getters, get name and get price to print item 4. Alright, let's run this. So now I have, let me pull this up a little bit. Item 1 is a car for 20,000. Item 2 is a book for 50,000. Item 3 is undefined initially. Then we set it to equal to a sofa for 1,000. Item 4, we use the new constructor to copy it from item 2. So item 4 is the same as item 2, which is a book for 50,000. And then we got the discounted price method that we call after that. Now, one thing I want to show you is when you pass an object into a method, the object is being passed by reference. So if you happen to change any of the value in those parameters, any value in that object that is being passed in, it's actually going to change the value of the object here in the calling program. So right now, if I pass in item 2 and I copied it to item 4, but if I change the input parameter I here, say if I say I dot name, and I set it to equal to say question mark item, and the price, let's set it to -9. See, if I do this, then the value in the calling program is going to be changed. So the value is the item 2 is actually going to be changed here. So after calling this to replicate item 4, replicate item 2 into item 4, if I go and check out the value of item 2 here, I'm gonna see that it has been changed by these 2 lines here. Okay, so we have item 1, we have item 2, item 3. We replicate item 2 into item 4, but in our test here, we set the input value in the object to question mark item and -9 for the price. And as you can see, when you go and print the value, the name and value of item 2 again, it has been changed by that method. So the method that you call actually changed the value of the variable in the calling program. So now the value is question mark item and the price is -9. All right, everyone. That's our lesson for today.